So, Ragna, what is your opinion on seeing so much more broadcasts on the main BART channel? We've seen Omega, we've seen Fight Night, we might be seeing some new stuff as well. How do you feel about that?
Well, nothing less than ecstatic. I think it's amazing how much it has grown, how many players have joined, how the scene has gotten so much bigger. And okay, other than someone who's invested in bar in a general sense, as a player personally, also it's been extremely fun because at the top of the competitive scene, so many new players arrived too and gave like a very fresh take on the game and like a new idea, new way to play the game and everything like that. And that's super fun because I learned so much as well from other players, and
Mm.
I think that's super fun, you know, to see a game that I've played for so long and so much, played like in new, unique ways and in a fresh way. It inspires me also to improve even more, and that's personally that's super fun. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Maybe Requiem can throw one in?
Yeah, how do you see the near future of Bar regarding its development?
Very, very, very positively. No, absolutely. I've little birds have told me little bits here and there. I've picked up on some rumors and so
Oh.
on, and yeah, I don't know. I'm very enthusiastic about it. I also I've noticed, for example, some top streamers and players from other games are starting to pick up on the bar as an idea. I've heard Grubby talking about bar. I've heard Youth Thermal now is playing as well
Mm.
from StarCraft 2.
Apparently playing
Um,
tomorrow in
yeah,
for Fight Night.
Yep, he's participating
yeah,
tomorrow
yeah.
as well.
So it's extremely exciting, and I mean, bar, bar. Okay, let's just be straightforward and honest, right? Like bar is the best strategy game there is, the best RTS game there is
Mm.
right now. Like, I mean, you can't compare the controls, the everything about bar to any of the other RTSs. Like, it's just not the same. It's so far ahead in terms of like how the units are controlled and everything
Yeah, the
like
quality of
that.
life, yeah.
The multiplayer coordination, the cooperation you have, and everything like that. It's just so. It's just the best game. It's just the best RTS game. There's not much more to say. So I mean, naturally, it will draw players to it. And then, yeah, I mean, there's some pressure, I think, to the development side as well because it needs so much polish. And I think that that's a bit of a like difficulty right now is that I mean the lobby we need a new lobby because I mean the one that is now is like yeah it was great when it was made but now yeah we have different
Aged.
needs yeah we have different needs as well and
Mm.
everything like that, right? And matchmaking is a huge requirement as well.
Mm.
So campaign is another huge requirement because I mean, if the game needs to be released, I mean, it has to have like a huge single player component before it gets properly released. And then there's this like pressure of like, all right, well, I mean, it gains in popularity and there's so many people coming over, but then that kind of increases that pressure of it needing to be like kind of polished. So hopefully it also brings in new resources to work on that.
Which I know for certain the last big push that happened did actually bring in some developers that were needed in areas as well. So yeah, it has seen increase of contributors with the increase of new players, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think it has been seen in like every area of contributors as well.
All right. Do you think Bar in its present state could be released on Steam? Do you think it's already
No,
good to go now? And what do you think should be changed most importantly?
I mean it's a bit what we were talking about just now, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, I mean there's a Steam roadmap. I mean there's a document you can look up like what the team would like. But yeah, personally, I think my personal biggest things, and they're huge, right? Is like the lobby. the single player campaign, and the matchmaking, which is part of the lobby, I guess. But yeah,
Tutorial in the campaign.
yeah, yeah.
Also. But I think, well, in my opinion, on a lot of levels, it's already at the level it's supposed to be, right? For
Well,
example,
the gameplay, yeah, but
well,
the
also
things
the
outside of the
technical
gameplay,
side,
right?
I think it's very difficult to connect 16 people all over the world together in one lobby and have them play seamlessly an RTS game. I think that's quite a feat on the network side. I'm a programmer myself, and I know that's not easy to get that done. I think that's really cool to see how the game sometimes adjusts speed a little bit to have everybody have the same tick, you know. I think that's really good, and one of the things that are pretty much ready to go. I'm sure there are a lot of other things that are also polished and ready to be published. But like you said, there's a few things that needs work, and to me the main thing is the new players. If we just present them with this, with the scenarios and with the lobbies that there is now, I think there might be a possibility that it would be the same future like FAF for a Steam release. That people would jump on the game, there would be a huge influx of people playing, and after a month, all of them are gone because there is nothing holding them to the game. And I think a single player experience, a story driven, maybe even thing that would set it apart from Total Annihilation,
Yeah,
because that was missing from Total. There
yeah.
was no story, there was no lore, there was nothing on that level. If Bar can get that right, I think the sky is the limit, and I think there will be possibly quite a lot of people playing this game in the near future. Yeah.
I've been very loud and exactly that, I think, is the campaign. Like, campaign needs to be more than a tutorial. I mean, a tutorial is obviously incredibly important, but it needs to be more than like learning how to use the units and so on. But it's super important for it to be like a very good story that you're invested in, and like, oh, and what's happening next?
Yeah.
And that's extremely difficult to do, I think, and you need some very talented people for that. And and the talent is out there, right? It's just about like finding the talent or choosing the talent or
And engaging
whatever
them.
you want to call it. But I think that will probably be the biggest factor to the popularity of Bar. And I think a lot of the people who play now, they're just like competitive multiplayer people who are not that interested in the single player. I mean, some might be, but I mean, the majority are not. So I think there's kind of this disconnect between the player base now that enjoys competitive multiplayer strategy game and the potential reach Bar has to like a very wide audience of story-driven single player campaign players. So I think it would be really nice to use Bar to reach those players, even though a majority of the current players are not that interested into it. I mean, yeah, that's just how I see it.
It's not only that, but I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I started playing RTS games, the only option was offline play. There wasn't online
Yeah,
play. You played through the
yeah,
campaign, and that's how
Yeah.
you'd learn to play the game. So it would be opening up the doors for a whole new generation of people to come and try an RTS game that's,
mhm.
current and not, I mean, we've got what's it? Is it Shattered Sun? A new RTS game that's coming out as well, I think. I can't remember now.
Mhm.
But there's another RTS game that's coming out soon, which also has a single player, but it's nowhere near ready. So,
Mm.
as same with a lot of things, it takes time to do. But campaign as well
Well,
for me is a big thing.
Well, it's also a little bit
it
of a
does.
danger, right? Because the longer your development takes, the longer your competitors get to catch up, or to release a game and copy most of what you've done in the last 6 years. Because let's be honest, it is open source. You can copy paste whatever has been done in the game, and you can start working on that. So I think if you look at other games who are looking to be quite successful and the usually successful Kickstarter campaign or whatever, but then they took way too long to actually get out there, and they missed the boat. So I think it's kind of a balance
Well,
into finding the yeah.
Oh, okay. So personally, I currently do not have any financial stake into the success of Beyond All Reason, right? So personally, if there's like all of the features of bar would like get into all of the other RTS games and it would become the norm, and like games would be releasing with like bar standards, I'm happy. Like that would personally make me quite happy. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too scared of that. I'd hope for that, you know.
Another thing I'd note, though, as well on that is that bar is also only made by volunteers. People are doing this because they want to do it. They're not doing it because they want to make money off of it or anything like that. So for them, it's more of a, we want to make this thing and we want to make it right, and we're not gonna put it out there on Steam until, you know, we're happy that it's in a place that we want it to be. And unfortunately, because, you know, they're not getting paid for it, this is just takes as long as it takes.
Mm, mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, I think. Yeah, good things come to people who wait, right? So yeah, I do realize there is a bit of a danger there, but also if you release it too fast or just say fuck it, let's do it today. That's also we've seen a few examples with our competitors' games that pretty much failed big time on that front, and I think that's also something that's maybe making the developer teams a little bit afraid or cautious on that matter, and not wanting to release too soon.
Well, it's a budget thing, right? They have a budget, they have people to pay, they need to release at some point to be able to like recuperate their investment. That's basically it. Yeah.
That's the financial side of it as well. Yeah.
With other games, that is, he means.
Yeah.
All right, maybe a little bit a lighter question line because it's getting deeper right now.
I've got one for you.
Okay.
Mr. Raghna, what's your opinion on the boss removal from lobbies? Considering you said things have to change, well, that's one thing that has changed. What do you
And big
think?
change.
Yeah. I don't have such a big opinion on it. I know people do have a big opinion on it. Like, oh, this is really good. Oh, it's really bad. Yeah, people gonna people. I
Can't
understand.
make my meme lobby anymore.
I think there's valid concerns on both sides, and ideally, it's about making a better lobby in the future, and this is like a temporary band-aid, and that people might like or dislike before the better implementation is done. Yeah. It's unfortunate that there has to be this band-aid, but I mean, yeah.
Hmm. Yep. Okay. Pum, 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 pum. So another change that we've seen recently is the introduction of the spawn suggestions. Personally, I like it. I think it helps a lot for new players to actually know what they are expected to do on a certain map. Do you feel the same? Do you like the system, or do you wanna maybe change something about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's good, especially for new players. It helps streamline. It helps with like expectations. Like big a big positive about it is to avoid friction, and I mean, unfortunately, competitive team games cause a lot of friction within teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it tries to alleviate some of that, which is obviously good. You could say that standardize the expected gameplay a bit, which I like to innovate and do some weird out of the box thing, which it kind of like pushes back against that a bit, I guess. But usually when people try weird out of the box things, it's a bad idea. So
For
I
saying
mean, I don't
that,
know.
meta's had to become meta from some
Yeah,
things,
obviously,
and
yeah.
metas change over time. Maybe it won't always be two front straights as the meta.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I definitely wouldn't. I mean, I think if there was a tournament, it would look very differently, the gameplay, than what you would see in a pub game. But yeah, no, it's fine. For pub games, it's fine, the suggestion, I think, yeah.
Okay, well, I've got a question for you, which I'm not sure if you'll have an answer, but it'll be interesting if
No.
you do. Do you have that one match of Bar that's always stuck in your head? That one special match where you pulled off that amazing move that won you the game?
Oh, well, I mean, I look very much like that on like the Alpha Cup finals against Cartouche. Yeah. I mean,
Why that game?
it was so much fun. It was so much fun to play. Well, I mean, the finals was like 2 best-of-5s, I believe, and the first best-of-5 I got. I mean, so it's more than one game. It was a couple games, but yeah. Just because it was so like climactic in terms of the whole tournament. That was the finals, and like the previous Alpha Cup he had won, and then I was expecting to lose, and so on, and then I was able to like very like true very like unorthodox gameplay, able to edge out. So yeah, I guess I mean that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, very nice, very nice.
I made I was so into it. I made a highlight reel video on my YouTube about it, if you remember.
You gotta give me that link later. I gotta check that out.
Sure thing.
Okay, and that's about it for me. Requiem, do you have maybe more?
No, that's it from me. Thank you for your time, Ragnar.
Okay. Thank you, Raghna. Thank
Yeah,
you
no,
very much for your answers. It was very nice and quite long as well. So yeah,
pleasure, anytime.
and Requiem, thank you as well for being here and helping the process out and being your true genius self. Thanks for that.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I hope we can do
And
it again.
anyone as well, check out Requiem's YouTube channel. Has like so many guides and like playthroughs and tips and everything like that. The economy tip, especially like the economy, how it works and
I've
everything.
learned a lot from his videos as well. Yep,
If you're learning the game or anything like that, check out Requiem on YouTube.
for sure. Very good tip. Alrighty.